All right, here we go. We're going to blast through this, all right? So some of the goals of the justice system, abstract goals, right? We already talked about fairness, efficiency, a lot of stuff coming in, There can be 500, 600, 700 cases just from the detective division going in to have the case prosecuted. Just because a person gets arrested does not mean they're going to file charges in court, right? So efficiency, effectiveness, right? If somebody gets arrested, they want to make sure they have enough information to go to trial, to come forward to a jury in case it goes to a jury trial, to have enough evidence. And actually that justice is served. That's the bottom line. A lot of things now are happening in the media, right? You get a little snapshot of video, 30 seconds. Oh, bad, right? Everything's bad. I could tell it's bad. Not knowing any of the information the police officer may have had prior to going into that call, right? There's calls that I've been when I work in gangs. Know a lot of gang members, right? There's gang member X. I know gang member X personally. He's seen the front side of my gun and can probably tell you the serial number of my gun, okay? Because I dealt with gang member X so many times. Gang member X likes to fight. Gang member X is known to carry guns. A lot of stuff with gang member X, right? You do not know you have this information. You're just driving around. I'm Joe Q citizen, and you see me contact gang member X, right? And all of a sudden you see me walk up, and you don't know what's going on. You see gang member X is standing there with his hands in his pocket, right? He ain't doing nothing, right? All of a sudden you get out your cell phone. Oh, look at me, I'm going to record. And I go up, as I'm walking up to gang member X, right? I am giving him commands. Maybe I have a warrant out for his arrest. Maybe he's wanted on a charge. Maybe he's on probation or parole, and at any time as a law enforcement officer, I have the right to stop and search him, right? You don't know this. Oh my gosh, a police officer. Oh, I got to get this, right? Look at me. And as I'm walking up to gang member X, and I say, hey, gang member X, turn around, face away from me, take your hands out of your pocket. Why do I want gang member X to have his hands facing towards me when he's away from me with all the information I have, right? Gang member X tells me what the four-letter word is, starting with the letter F, right? And says off, right? Four-letter word starts with the letter F. You know what it is, right? So now as I'm walking up to gang member X, I have all this information. I do not want to die, right? I take any means necessary in order to control gang member X, right? So, oh my gosh, look at this officer doing this bad thing to this gang member. He's just standing there with his hands in his pocket, and I walk up and maybe taser him or take him down because he's known to carry weapons, or we may have information he has weapons on him, right? I've already told gang member X, by law, turn around, face away from me, right? Take your hands out of the pocket with your back towards me. What did he tell me? He wanted to let me know his vocabulary word of the day, which is a four-letter word starting with the letter F, right? Is that compliance? Absolutely not. I do not have to sit there, okay, Mr. Gang member, I really want you to do this, please. I really want you to do this, please. All the while, gang member sitting there thinking of ways, how can I get to my gun and take this officer out and shoot and kill him, okay? So, when your little camera, oh my gosh, bad officer, I can't believe he wasn't doing anything, right? He's just standing there, and next thing we know, this is what happens, right? That's where you get your little snapshot on TV, not having all the information that the officer has, making a snap decision on justice. Caught may be bad, okay? Caught may be bad. Not having any other information. Oh my gosh, I saw it. Bad cop. Okay. On the other hand, there are bad cops. Remember I told you in my first video I worked internal affairs. Bad cops. Bad cop when that guy was laying on Floyd's neck for 8 minutes. Who does that? It took everything I had to watch that video, and in my mind I just want to go, right? Push him off. What are you doing, you stupid idiot? This is nothing's happening. Cuffs are on. We won. Cuffs are on. We won. Get off, right? So justice being served. See what happens? I start talking. Here we go. Baby. All right. So here we go. Oh, here's an officer. He's got his baton out, right? Looks like this guy's fighting. Do we know what's going on here? We have no information, right? Just look at the pictures like, oh, he's hitting this guy. What's going on? So the standards, we talk about standards. It says organizations such as the American Bar Association and the American Correctional Association have developed detailed goals to improve the justice system, right? So overall, we want to improve the justice system as a whole. And I am sure nowadays, with everything going on with coronavirus and all these guys getting released because, oh, can't get sick because you're a bad guy, so bad guys have their individual rights. And even though that you, bad Mr. Molester, molested Sally, Johnny, all 2 and 3 years old, because the crime wasn't violent, we're going to let you go because of coronavirus, right? So they're always talking a way to improve the system, even in law enforcement overall, okay? The justice system structure and process, the evolution of criminal procedures. Our system of criminal justice was based on English common law. You will hear this over and over and over and over and over and over during your time in the criminal justice system, that it was based on English common law. And the foundational concepts in criminal procedures, those were actually based on the Bible and has continued on today. So here we have a little video, right? I want you to watch this video. Okay, Johnny, I'm going to ask you a question. After you watch the video, Johnny, what are the 3 things you learned from the video, Johnny? Okay? That means if Johnny's asked a question, everybody in class will respond. All right, so what constitutes justice? That's another question I'm asking you. What in your mind constitutes justice? I want you to pick out a crime and want you to determine what justice is and why. Or for what part, okay? So as a PowerPoint, it says the concept of justice is commonly used but seldom defined. That's why I want you to define it in your opinion of what justice is, all right? It's a concept that relates to our ideas about morality. We talked about morality earlier, and what's right and wrong with an individual, right? Remember, we go back to the example with Miss Gonzalez, right? Miss Gonzalez thinks that you being able to smoke your 40 pounds of marijuana, right? Eat your Doritos and Taco Bell all the time. That is a wrong thing. Even though it's legally right? You can be higher than a kite anytime that you want. But when you do that driving, it can possibly impair your ability to drive correctly and kill a family, especially mine. I find that very, very wrong, and it should not be an accepted thing. And I think very much in your lifetime, you guys are going to see the ramifications of all the marijuana and what happens to an individual down the road, because not everybody makes marijuana in a perfect little area and uses the right ingredients and stuff like that, okay? Most individuals associate the concept with the concept of fairness, equality, and goodness. Oh, sounds so wonderful, right? Fairness, equality, and goodness all sounds right on until you're the victim of a crime or somebody you know, family or friends, a victim of a crime, and you want to get equal justice, okay? Case in point, right here, listen up. My daughter's swimming, right? She's a great swimmer. She swims on a year-round swim team, has for 4 years, right? So we take her to the local gym. Her and her friends are practicing swimming. They're out there doing their swimming thing, right? Here's Mr. Pervert in the swimming lane next to him. He decides that he wants to show my daughter what the male genitals look like, right? So here he is showing his male genitals underwater to my daughter and his friends, right? Mama Bear ain't having any of that, right? Mama Bear comes out. Mama Bear, my daughter, jumps out, does the right thing, lets me know what's happening. I confront this guy, and fortunately for him, he was still in the swimming pool where I could not get to him. However, I let him know if he jumps out of the pool, what I would proceed to do to him, right? So what I want to do to him personally is vigilante, right? You want to do that? Let me show you what I can do. Can't do that. Can't be a vigilante. Can't take the law into my own hands. Have to contact the police department, have to make a report. He's got a right to his innocence until proven guilty, right? Got a right to innocence until proven guilty. My daughter at that time would never get out of the swimming pool. Her eyes big as saucers. Tell me what she saw just by happenstance. Not did it happen once, but it happened twice, okay? So there you go. So what is justice for me? for the individual? Well, it can easily be, right, that he no longer ever swim there or do whatever he wants to do, but for me, there's a lot more. But the case is still going, and we'll go from there. Okay, we talk about what is justice. Ooh, what happened here? Look, there's a little doohickey back here. So I want you to watch this video, and I want you to think, what kind of justice does this guy, or should this guy get, Mr. Hi, there I go. Here's Mr. All-American swimmer at Stanford University, which it costs over $100,000 a year in order for them to go get an education at Stanford University, okay? So, all right, here we go. Question, right? Answer the question. What kind of justice should this individual get for this horrible crime he committed? So watch the video. Tell me your answer, right? And here's what cracks me up, right? Every module's worth 10 points. 10 points across the board, right? And people are like, oh my gosh, you have so much work. Oh my gosh. And then some other things are really simple, really easy, right? Still 10 points. Because I do it because across the board in law enforcement, it could be the little things that get you in trouble later on, right? Could turn to a massive big thing, right? So everything across the board is 10 points, whether it takes an hour to do or it takes 2 minutes, all right? 10 points because it all is important, right? So what I want you to tell me what kind of justice this guy should have gotten, or do you think what he got was fair? Let me know. All right, the different classifications for punishment. Bam! We got to really talk here. Early in our history, we classified criminal laws as treason, felony, and misdemeanors, right? You guys should already know what those are if you've taken any other law enforcement classes. Treason, felony, misdemeanors. Most states eliminated treason as a category of crime as listed merely as any other felony violation because treason usually applied. We have to be at war at the time the act happened in order for it to be qualified as treason. The United States has not been at war as an entire country as a whole for a period of time. And where anybody rises up against the United States, that's where they can be caught in treason, all right? Thus, 2 classifications remains, a felony and misdemeanors. There's infractions, but infractions does not carry any type of punitive time incarceration. You do not have that, all right? So the jury system, bad guy gets arrested. Bad guy's information all goes to the district attorney's office. District attorney's like, oh, good job, officer. Yay, we're going to file charges. Bad guy's still innocent until they go to court. So they either plead guilty, not guilty, or no contender, okay? I mean, basically, it's a guilty charge, but I'm not going to admit what I did was bad. Okay, so you sit in front of 12 members of your peers. That doesn't mean you get to go pick out 12 of your best friends. Hey, I got in trouble. I'm going to court. All my best friends come with me. No, it's the makeup of the community, right? So it's a makeup community is going to determine your guilt or innocence of the crime, all right? So the historical developments, these 4 things I want you to answer from your book, okay? So that means it's going to be a textbook, not your opinion. Tell me about Magna Carta, Declaration of Independence, U.S. Constitution, Bill of Rights. Well, I was getting my question before, is when you answer me, especially on the guy who, like, what his crime should be, here's what I don't want. And I love people like, oh my gosh, I didn't get that many points, right? Oh, he should have been in jail for 69 days. Period. What is that, right? Explain the reasoning. Explain to me why you are making the decisions you are and back the information up with your explanation. Nothing more, okay? Bill of Rights, most important. 4th Amendment, 4th Amendment, 4th Amendment, 4th Amendment. I'm going to ask you what the Bill of Rights are, okay? And the most important for law enforcement is the 4th Amendment, right? To be secure in your house, in your vehicle, and any papers or effect, right? We cannot just randomly come into your house or randomly search your vehicle unless we have a probable cause to do so, right? So the first 10 amendments are known as the Bill of Rights. Here's a Bill of Rights, right? There's all 10 of them. Out of the 10, I want you to tell me, there's a little thing to remind me to tell me, pick 3 of them and give me examples. examples. Okay, pick 3 of them and give me examples. Let me stop here. We'll continue on.